the latest technological craze that is capturing the fancy of the world is tablet computing. Apple, as you know, has catapulted the latest craze with their unveiling of the first iPad in 2010. Since Apple's introduction of this device, the competition is scrambling to duplicate this technological enhancement to home computing. Now, here's the choice that you have. You have the choice to choose an Apple or its competitors, Microsoft or Google, just to name a few. Today, I want to talk to you about, first, the latest version of the iPad, which is the iPad 4. Second, the comparison between Apple, Microsoft, and Google. And finally, why the iPad 4 is probably the best buy for your money. I'll begin by talking to you about the iPad 4. Apple has been the leading distributor of PC tablets, as you know, and it all started with the famous iPad series. The iPad, which is now in its fourth generation, and has been the highest selling product running for the last 3 years in the tablet PC computing world. Other companies have been trying so desperately since 2010 to duplicate the success that Apple has achieved since its incarnation of the iPad. But to the dismay of the companies, they have not been able to come up with the formula nor the device that would overtake Apple and become the #1 seller of tablets. Now, the latest version of Apple's iPad has been added with some new enhancements. As you know, the iPad 3 just came out just recently, and now Apple has unveiled the iPad 4. Some of the new features are, one, the LTE. This is one of the newest features, LTE technology support, which basically is this feature was first introduced in iPad 3, but now it's been expanded to a number of more LTE frequencies, which includes more carriers in the US, Europe, and Australia. Also in the newer version, Apple has decided to double the chip speed, and that's in part to taking an A6 chip and enhancing it to make it an A6X chip, which is basically an A6 processor on steroids. Go figure. Along with this new chip, there's also a 1 gigabyte of RAM, which also has a dual core processor. Now, the best feature of the new iPad 4 is the graphics, which outperforms the previous versions by far. Apple has added a 9.7-inch screen with a resolution of 2048 by 1056 pixels, which basically gives you a clear picture, and a real clear picture. The browser speed for that display also has been updated, so the refresher time is much faster than before, and it's very comparable to the Apple's desktop browser. So that's an added plus. Some of these other newer graphics that's installed on this new iPad 4 are the picture stabilization, face detection, and also the front camera has the capability of shooting pictures and videos in HD format. Yeah, that's right, HD. Look how far we've come. Also, another feature that's been replaced is the old 30-pin connector, which was used previously in the other 3 iPad versions, have been replaced with this new Lightning connection, which makes it more possible for the iPad to connect to a variety of accessories that Apple offers. finally, one of the best features, I think, that's on this new iPad is battery life. Battery, battery, battery. Battery life. It's much better than all the previous versions. It lasts longer, and I mean, it lasts longer as far as it lasts up to 13 hours before you have to plug it in and recharge it. So that is an added plus. So, now that I've described some of the features for the iPad, I'm going to dwell and take a look at the other brands. First up is going to be the Microsoft Surface. Now, Microsoft decided to come up with a tablet, and they named it the Surface. What Microsoft is basically trying to do is capitalize on the fact that this tablet will be able to utilize Microsoft's newest operating system, which is Windows 8. Windows 8 basically is an Achilles heel for the iPad because the iPad doesn't have the ability to utilize a Windows-based product. So, with that being said, the Surface has the ability to run business applications, which the iPad doesn't have. Very interesting. The Surface is not as elegant as the iPad as far as its sleekness and lightweight compatibility, but it is comparable. But it is not compar. I'm sorry, it is not comparable to the iPad's graphics nor its multimedia abilities. Most of that features are pretty morbid and it's pretty much an albatross compared to the iPad. Another feature that the Surface incorporates that the iPad doesn't is the ability to utilize external hardware device. As you may or may not know, the iPad does not have the capability to plug any USB type devices into it, where the Surface does. The Surface has the ability to plug in USB external devices. Microsoft Surface gives the ability for business and PC tablet users to use one device, where the iPad does not offer that opportunity. And it lacks the ability to run any kind of Windows application, like I said before. It gets really expensive for the consumer to learn as well as run applications similar to a Windows-based product. So the Surface tablet clearly beats the iPad in this perspective. Another tablet we're going to take a look at is the Google Nexus 7. The Google Nexus 7 is the more portable of these devices. It's smaller than iPad. It's comparatively smaller. The screen size is 7 inches compared to the 9.7 inch of the iPad. It also runs on the Android operating system with a speed quad-core processor, and has a display that equals the iPad clearly. It has all the colors and it has a very clear display, and is unbelievably natural. But the display still can't compare to the excellent viewing of the iPad. So the Nexus does lack a true camera, but does have a webcam where you can have video chats. The battery life on the Nexus 7 is not as good as, say, the iPad, which lasts, like I said before, lasts up to 13 hours. And it clearly outbests the Microsoft Surface, which lasts between 2 to 3 hours before you have to plug it in. The downside to this is that the applications that are offered for this Nexus 7 are not as extensive, nor does it compare to the Apple Store, which offers all types of applications for the iPad. Apple clearly has clearly corner of the market when it comes to applications because they offer a variety and lots more of applications. Basically, to summarize all this up, the comparison of the devices compared to the iPad is close. I mean, although each device has its own strength and capabilities to do a variety of things, it is all about what you want the device to accomplish. Whether it is to do business, application, or to play games. I mean, if you're looking for a device that has the ability to run Windows products so you don't have the inconvenience of carrying two devices, then the Surface and the Nexus are the devices that you use. If running Windows applications is not a big deal to you, and the only thing you want the capability to run multimedia products with excellent graphical interfaces, then the iPad is definitely your choice. All in all, no matter what the inability to run applications such as Windows, it is still the choice to choose what's right for you. In this instance, the iPad 4 is clearly the most popular and obvious winner amongst all these PC tablets environments. Which do you choose?